Hey guys, good evening everyone. Welcome back to the stream of our day two, our live reading series of the book Ikigai. Thank you for joining me again. Just a quick check in with you guys. I hope you're all doing well tonight or today or um, this afternoon to the guys who are experiencing, I mean, for guys who are in the afternoon, late or early afternoon, late afternoon. We'll continue reading a few more pages, same as our first day. Slow, simple, and steady. I'll be reading the chapter 1 for this, and we know that this book is for education, and we'll have some discussions over the comment section. If you enjoy the book, please consider supporting the authors by getting your own copy. All right, let's continue where we left off from the other day. After I finish for today's pages, feel free to drop your thoughts or reactions in the comments. So let's go ahead and go to chapter 1. Chapter 1 of Ikigai, the art of staying young while growing old. Okay, what is your reason for being? According to the Japanese, everyone has an Ikigai. What a French philosopher might call a raison d'etre. I might be wrong in pronunciation. Some people have found their Ikigai, while others are still looking for, though they carry it within them. Our Ikigai is hidden deep inside of us, and finding it requires a patient search. According to those born in Okinawa, the island with the most centenarians in the world, our Ikigai is the reason we get up in the morning. So there's an illustration here. It says what the world needs, what you can be paid for, what you're good at, what you love. And there's gonna be like the passion, your mission, vocation, profession, and at the middle is your ikigai. Okay, so let's move along. Whatever you do, don't retire. Having a clear defined ikigai brings satisfaction, happiness, and the meaning to our lives. The purpose of this book is to help you find yours and to share insight from the Japanese philosophy on lasting health of body, mind, and the spirit. One surprising thing you notice living in Japan is how active people remain after they retire. In fact, many Japanese people never really retire. They keep doing what they love for as long as their health allows. There is, in fact, no word in Japanese that means retire in the sense of leaving the workforce for good, as in English. According to Dan Buhner, a National Geographic reporter who knows the country well, having a purpose in life is so important in Japanese culture that our idea of retirement simply doesn't exist there. The island of almost eternal youth, which is Okinawa, Certain longevity studies suggest that a strong sense of community and a clearly defined ikigai are just as important as the famous healthful Japanese diet. Okay. Perhaps even more so recent medical studies of the centenarians from Okinawa and other so-called blue zones. Okay. So the centenarians from Okinawa are also called the blue zones, the geographic regions where people live longer, provide a number of interesting facts about these extraordinary human beings. You gotta be an extraordinary human being if you are a centenarian. Not only do they live much longer than the rest of the world's population, they also suffer from fewer chronic illnesses such as cancer and heart disease. Inflammatory disorders are also less common. Many of these centenarians enjoy inviolable levels of vitality and health that would be unthinkable for people of advanced or that would be unthinkable for people of advanced age elsewhere. Their blood tests reveal fewer free radicals, which are reasonable for singular aging. As a result of drinking tea and eating until their stomach are only 80% full. Hmm. So that might be the reason why one of my Japanese friends he does eat a lot in a way, or let's say he does eat frequently in less amounts. That's probably eating 80% full. Women experience more moderate symptoms during menopause, and both men and women maintain higher levels of sexual hormones until much later in life. That's interesting. The rate of dementia is well below the global average, which is good if it would happen to not only in Japan, but it could happen to your country or my country. The characters behind Ikigai. In Japanese, Ikigai is written as, and there is a Japanese writing there, combining another Japanese, okay. I'm just gonna read over it, but there are Japanese characters combining, which means life, with another Japanese character, which means to be worthwhile. So that's gonna be a combination of life and to be worthwhile. So this Japanese character also here can be broken down into characters, which means armor, number one, and to be the first to head into the battle, taking initiative as a leader. And probably this is the last character, which means beautiful or elegant. Though we will consider each of these findings over the course of the book, research clearly indicates that the Okinawans focus on Ikigai gives a sense of purpose to each and every day and plays an important role in their health and longevity. The five blue zones, Okinawa holds first place among the world's blue zones. In Okinawa, women in particular live longer and have fewer diseases than anywhere else in the world. The five regions identified and analyzed by Dan Butner in his book The Blue Zones are Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia in Italy, Loma Linda in California, the Nicoya Peninsula, Costa Rica, Ikaria in Greece. So, in Okinawa, Japan, especially the northern part of the land, the locals eat diet rich in vegetables and tofu typically served in small plates. In addition to their philosophy of Ikigai, the moai, or close-knit group of friends, plays an important role in their longevity. So, with that being said, eating properly and having a small, trusted, and what they call this group of friends are important for the longevity. Now, in Sardinia, Italy, specifically the province of Nuoro and Oglistra, locals in this island consume plenty of vegetables and one or two glasses of wine per day. As in Okinawa, the cohesive nature of this community is another factor directly related to longevity. So what they do is they eat plenty of vegetables and a glass or two of wine. Now, in Loma Linda, California, researchers studied a group of Seventh-day Adventists who are among the longest living people in the United States. About the Nicoya Peninsula, Costa Rica, locals remain remarkably active after 90, making of the region's older residents have no problem getting up at 5:30 in the morning to work to the fields. And Ikaria, Greece, one of every three inhabitants of this island near the coast of Turkey is over 90 years old, compared to less than 1% of the population of the United States. Well, it's good to know that the five blue zones is written, or you would know that there are actually these blue zones or places that are considered to have or to relate that has related to longevity. Okay, then moving forward, in Greece, a fact that has learned it the nickname the island of long life. That's good. The local secret seems to be a lifestyle that dates back 500 BC. So it's a good practice of a lifestyle that they're doing there. In the following chapters, we will examine several factors that seem to be the keys to longevity and are found across the blue zones, paying special attention to Okinawa and its so called village of longevity. First, however, it is worth pointing out that the three of these regions are islands, where resources can be scarce and communities have to help one another. For many, helping others might be an ikigai strong enough to keep them alive. According to scientists who have studied the five blue zones, the keys to longevity are diet, exercising, finding a purpose in life, an ikigai, and forming strong social ties. That's going to be your friends. That is, having a broad circle of friends and good family relations. having a broad circle of friends and good family relations. Okay. Members of these communities manage their time well in order to reduce the stress, consume little meat or processed foods, and drink alcohol in moderation. They do not strenuous ex- oh, sorry. They don't do strenuous exercise, but they do move every day, taking walks and working in their vegetable gardens. So that's their main exercise. People in the blue zones would rather walk than drive. Gardening, which involves daily low intensity movement, is a practice almost all of them have in common. So, 80% secret. Okay, they mentioned here the 80% secret. One of the most common sayings in Japan is hara hachibu, which is repeated before or after eating and means something like fill your belly to 80%. Hara hachibu. Ancient wisdom advises against eating until we are full. This is why Okinawans stop eating when they feel their stomach reach 80% of their capacity. Rather than overeating and wearing down their bodies with long digestive process that accelerate cellular oxidation. Of course, there is no way to know objectively if your stomach is at 80% or at 80% capacity. The lesson to learn from this saying is that we should stop eating when we are starting to feel full. The extra side dish, the snack we eat when we know in our hearts we don't really need it. The apple pie after lunch. All this will give us pleasure in the short terms, but then having them will make us happier in the long term. The way food is served is also important by presenting their meals on many small plates. The Japanese tend to eat less. A typical meal in a Japanese or in a restaurant in Japan is served in five plates on a tray. Four of them very small and the main dish is slightly bigger. Having five plates in front of you makes it seem like you are going to eat a lot. But what happens most of the time is that you end up feeling slightly hungry. This is the one of the reason why Westerners in Japan typically lose weight and stay trim. Recent studies by nutritionists reveal that Okinawans consume a daily average of 1800 to 1900 calories compared to 2200 to 3300 in the United States and have a body mass index between 18 and 22 compared to 26 or 27 in the United States. The Okinawa diet is rich in tofu, sweet potatoes, fish, which is served three times per week only, and vegetables, roughly 11 ounces per day. In the chapter dedicated to nutrition, we will see which healthy, antioxidant rich foods are included in this 80%. When we say the 80% secret, it's filling your belly to 80%, or what they call in Japanese, harahachibu. Mowai in Japan, connected for life. It is customary in Okinawa to form close bonds within local communities. A Mowai is an informal group of people with, hold on, all right. A Mowai is informal group of people with common interest who looks out for another. So for us here, or for in common terms, this might be hobbies, either collecting antiques, artifacts, collecting clothings, shoes, books, toys, or being with your um, running group. Any form of hobby might be or can be considered as Mowai or connected for life. The Moai has its origins in hard times when farmers would get together to share best practices and help one another cope with meager harvest. Members of a Moai makes a set monthly contributions to the group. This payment allows them to participate in meetings, dinners, games on the go, and shogi. Shogi, as written here, is a Japanese chess, or whatever hobby they have in common. The funds collected by the group are used for activities. If there is money left over, one member decided on a retaining basis receives a set amount from the surplus. In this way, being part of a MOI helps maintain emotional and financial stability. You get to enjoy things or common things with your friends and then take a part of the financial stability, which is decided on rotating basis. If a member of a MOI in a financial trouble, he or she can get an advance from the group's savings. While the details of each MOI accounting practices vary according to the group and its economic means, the feeling of being the feeling of belonging and support gives the individual a sense of security and helps increase life expectancy. You enjoy, probably this means enjoying, having good laugh, sharing everything, everyday ritual, or let's say sharing thoughts every day. Okay, following this, knowing this brief introduction to the topics covered in this book, we'll look at a few causes of premature aging in modern life and then explore different factors to Ikigai. So that's gonna be it for chapter one. Very good read. So from chapter one, just entitled The Art of Staying Young While Growing Old, we were able to know reason, or it does have the question, what is your reason for your being? and in Japan that they have this that says having a clearly defined ikigai brings satisfaction, happiness, and meaning to our lives, and they don't really retire. They still do what they love as long as their body allows. Also, we've learned over here the characters behind the ikigai, the or the Japanese characters. The five blue zones, which is Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia in Italy, Loma Linda in California, the Nikaya in Peninsula, and Ikigai, and oh sorry, Ikaria in Greece. Also, we've learned about the 80% secret of Japan, which is fill your belly to 80%, or in Japan, Harahachi Bu. So we're done with chapter one. Um, Feel free to drop your thoughts or reactions in the comments. No, this is the second day for us, but still a lot of improvement. The way we read, the way we give reactions, and obviously the setting. So that's today section. Let me know what part stood out to you or what you think about all we just read. The chat is open. You can put in the things you need. I mean, you can put in things like, that's a nice point. I agree with this section. Isn't it that it's interesting to take on this part? But anyways, I thank you for your time being with me for today. Uh, this might be a quiet session for a second day or second time around, but no worries, we're still building the community. I'm just happy that you're here along listening. Thank you for joining me for day two. We'll continue the next pages on the next stream or the next chapter. Have a peaceful day, have a peaceful night and an afternoon, and see you next time.